Honoring Officer Morton. Today, Clinton police officer Ryan Morton will be laid to rest after he was killed in the line of duty. We do have team coverage this morning. My co-anchor Joe Chiodo is anchoring from Clinton this morning, and our Jessica Reyes is also there with details on the arrangements for today. We want to begin this morning with Joe. And Joe, such a somber day ahead for these folks in Clinton.
It really is going to be a tough day here. And good morning to you, Gina. Good morning to everybody here at home. Of course, we're in the town of just 9,000 people, such a tight-knit group here. And you can already feel the heartbreak here this morning that they are experiencing despite the town just starting to wake up. We've seen a few police vehicles driving past from different departments all across our area and region as they prepare to come here to Clinton to honor fallen officer Ryan Morton. Also, we're in the heart of the city right now in the Square Center. Dozens of businesses surrounding me with these signs hanging in the window, flags with that thin blue line showing their support for the police department. In addition to that, right outside the courthouse here, you can see one of their main flags in the city at half staff. This will be a government mandate across the whole state of Missouri for them to be flown at half staff from sunrise to sunset in honor of Officer Morton. Now, that 30-year-old police officer was killed in the line of duty last Tuesday. His funeral will be held later this morning in Clinton at 11 o'clock. As I mentioned, many people are already here coming to town to support Officer Morton, his family, his friends, and fellow officers. KCTV5's Jessica Reyes is joining us this morning in Clinton as well with a look at how the community is honoring the fallen officer. Jess.
Joe, the funeral will be held in the same city that Officer Morton served. Now, I'm in front of the Benson Center this morning. As you can see, this is a rather large building, but in just a few hours, this is expected to be filled, including those people who will be attending today will be the Clinton Police Department. This is thanks to officers from different agencies across western and central Missouri. They'll be covering the department shifts during the funeral. Services will begin at 11 o'clock this morning right here at the Benson Center, followed by a procession. Officer Morton's body will then be escorted around downtown, and it will make a final stop in front of the police department before being taken 50 miles north. Morton will be buried in his hometown of Knob Noster. There will also be a very special tribute during the funeral. We'll have more on that coming up in 30 minutes. Joe?
Jess, thank you so much for that. And as you mentioned, going to be so tough for so many people. We know that not only here in Clinton, but in the Kansas City area as a whole, this is what people are waking up with on their minds this morning. Now, we want to have a look right now at more details of that funeral this morning. This is the schedule for the arrangement. It will begin at 11 o'clock, as just mentioned, at the Benson Center. After that, Officer Morton will be buried in the Knob Noster Cemetery, of course, where he grew up and spent his life. Officials in Clinton and Knob Noster, of course, say they expect a lot of people coming into town. As I mentioned, we've already seen some of them driving through the square here. So this is going to impact traffic in some way. If you plan to pay your respects, listen up here. The processional will begin at noon on Route 18 and head to Route 13 toward Knob Noster. Intersections will be closed along Route 13 as it moves through. Now, once that processional arrives in Knob Noster, there's expected to be congestion in the area of McPherson Street from Highway 23 to D Highway until 3 this afternoon. Now, hundreds of people have already paid their respects to Officer Morton, his family, and his fellow officers. In fact, last night was another heartbreaking scene that we have seen over the past week or so, ever since Officer Morton lost his life. They held a vigil in memory of him, and we have a look at how that went. Again, this was held last night. The city held a prayer service ahead of the services today. You can see lanterns floating up as a tribute to Officer Morton. Morton was not from Clinton, but was part of the community here in a very, very big way. Officer Morton's mother says that her heart is just shattered after dealing with all of this, but the Clinton community is really helping her heal.
It's not just our family, it's your community and this Clinton PD. It's because of his love and support, and also the love and support of this Clinton PD and this community, that we're going to be able to go on.
And Officer Morton and his mom had such a special relationship. In fact, earlier this week on KCTV5 News This Morning, we showed you a video message that he sent back to his mother from Afghanistan when he was deployed overseas serving our country. That, of course, was a warm wish to her, saying that he hoped to see her soon. So not only has he helped serve the community here in Clinton on the police force, but he was a member of the National Guard for 8 years. Such a big loss for us here in the Kansas City area. And you will not only see signs in the businesses here in Clinton honoring him and thousands of people here today to show their respects, but there is also this tribute to Officer Morton. This is a billboard that is now standing that says, "Stand Behind the Blue." It names Officer Morton and Officer Gary Michael. Gary Michael was killed last August. Just 7 months ago, another huge loss for the Clinton Police Department. Officer Morton came back to serve his community here after learning of Officer Gary Michael's murder and passing. There's also Officers Nathan Betancourt and Nicholas Casper, who were shot in the same disturbance call that killed Officer Morton on Tuesday. They, of course, survived. Now, a lot of people wanting to give their thanks and also their help to Officer Morton. There is a fund that you can contribute to. We have that information for you this morning as well. Contributions are being taken care of by the Vincent Mills Funeral Home in Clinton. You can also share your condolences with his loved ones on the funeral home's website. We're going to be live here in Clinton all morning long as this funeral begins to get underway. Again, it will take place at 11 this morning. The town just waking up. I've spoke with one business owner who owns a donut and breakfast shop here in town who says that this is going to be a very, very tough day ahead. KCTV5 will have all of your coverage leading up to the funeral right here. Gina, we'll send it back to you.
I can't even imagine. It's such a heartbreaking time for this community, but what's amazing is how much they are coming together and showing their strength for his family and friends. And we will be checking back in with you, Joe, in Clinton all morning long. You can also get developments sent straight to your phone with the KCTV5 News app. Also, you'll be able to read about the investigation surrounding Officer Morton's death and see more from the Clinton community there. It's on a special section of the app.